Hello everyone, this is Anson from AnsonAlex.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about iOS 7, specifically how we can alter our color scheme, our wallpapers a little bit, and customize things to make it a little bit more easy on the eyes. I really like iOS 7, I like the features that came with it, but I know myself and a lot of other people who've been using iOS 7 have some questions about the color scheme and the design of iOS 7, and that some people are saying that it makes them dizzy and things are just a little bit harder to see. So we're going to talk about how we can kind of alter that a little bit to make our iPad or iPhone a little bit easier to use. So one thing to notice about this new color scheme is that all the words of your folders or apps, it's all written in white. Same with your battery. You might not be able to see it in this video, but I'm sure you've noticed on your phone or iPad, the time, the date, the battery, it's all in white. So that makes it hard to see a lot of those features when we have light backgrounds. Unfortunately, it doesn't change. These names of apps and folders don't turn black when you're using a light background. So for somebody who is using a white background or a very light color, it's going to be really hard to see all of these different apps, and it's just going to hurt your eyes a little bit. So one thing that I want to mention to everybody is that if you get this app, and you don't have to get this app, but I like to use it, it's called Screen Motion. It's one word, S-C-R-E-E-N-M-O-T-I-O-N, and it's an app that has a whole bunch of wallpapers, and if I go into it here, you're going to see really the power of this app, because what it allows you to do, and I'm going to turn it off for now, is you've got all these wallpapers. You can go through all the different wallpapers, you can look at them. When you click on one that you think you might like, so let's say I choose just this one right here, okay? I can actually preview what this will look like on my lock screen by clicking on this button right here. So I can see there's the time, slide to unlock. This 9 is really hard to see with that sun right there. So that might not be the best background for me. Now if I click again, I can actually click on this icon to see what it would look like on my home screen. And this one actually looks decent. Mail is really hard to see because it's white and we've got this white line right here, so we can't even see the word mail. So this background might not work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But what you can do is if I just swipe one to the left, it's just going to go to the next background. And so I can go through all of these backgrounds and kind of test them out here. Once I like one of these, I can go ahead and hit this download, the save button. It'll save it to my pictures, and then you can set it as your wallpaper, which I'll show you how to do at the end. But the reason I'm mentioning this in this video is because I think this has a huge effect on your experience with using iOS 7. If you have a background that's really light color, let's see if we can find one. We already saw, one where mail was blocked. But see this background right here? It's just got so many colors that it's kind of going to hurt our eyes a little bit, and that's where we might get dizzy. With this light color scheme that Apple has released, we need to use dark backgrounds to make it as easy to read and as easy for us to use as possible. So if we go through this, I actually kind of like this one for the lock screen. I saw this earlier. If we look, you can see the time really easy here. The slide to unlock you can see. So that's kind of a cool one as well. Let's just go back and take a look at some more of these backgrounds. So like this one, for instance, this background is not going to be good because it's got so much white up here in the top. I can already tell. You can't see the names of any of these apps. So that background just isn't going to work. If we go back, however, and we choose a very dark background, I'll actually see if I can find the one I'm using on my phone. I'm not sure where it is in here. If we go through this. Well, for instance, this background is going to look pretty good because it's very dark. It is a little white in this area, so these apps are a little bit harder to read, but you can just see how much easier my apps are to read with this background than with the one that I'm currently using even. Okay, so that's a huge thing. Unfortunately, you're going to have to choose a dark background. The other couple things I want to mention to make it a little bit easier to use your iPad or iPhone here with iOS 7 is one, with this light color scheme, things are really bright. So go ahead and turn your brightness down. You can see I have my brightness down almost all the way right now. If I turn this up, a lot of people have their brightness on full. This is really bright. In the video, you can't even, it's really bright in the video, you can't even see anything. But it's too bright. It's going to hurt your eyes. So go ahead, turn your brightness down, make it a little bit easier on your eyes, and save some battery at the same time. If you didn't check out my tutorial on saving battery life in iOS 7, check that out. There's a lot of good tips in there. I'm going to link that in the description of this video here on YouTube. But the one other thing that I mentioned in that video that I also want to mention in this video is that parallax effect. With iOS 7, they have that effect where when you move your iPad, when you lift it up or down, your apps and folders kind of move a little bit too. It's a parallax thing, and that could also make you dizzy. So if you go into your settings, and then you go to General, and then go ahead and go down to Accessibility. It's actually up here at the top. And then there is this option that says Reduce Motion. Go ahead and make sure that's turned on. By default, it's going to be turned off, but what that's going to do is it's going to reduce the motion of the user interface, including the parallax effect when you move your iPhone or iPad. So for those of you who might be getting dizzy, that's going to help a lot. Alright, so I know that there's a lot of cool features with iOS 7. We've got the awesome control panel down here, which I'm sure that you've been using and checking out, but there are some questions about the color scheme and the design, so hopefully this video will give you a better idea of how you can customize your background, your wallpapers. I mentioned that I would set a background, so before I finish off this video, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's just go ahead and go back in here to screen motion. Let's choose this background. I kind of like this one. Alright, so if I take off, this is the background I'm going to use. So I'm just going to click this download button. It's going to ask screen motion, it's going to ask me to give screen motion access to my photos. I'm going to go ahead and allow that to do that. You're going to get some advertisements once you start downloading some backgrounds in here. They have to make money somehow. So I've saved that photo to my camera roll. So now if I go back into my iPad's homepage, go to my camera roll, I'm just going to choose this last photo here. This is the one that I saved. I'm going to go up here to Edit. Actually, I'm not going to edit it. I'm sorry. I'm actually going to go to the Select button here. I'm going to select this photo. I'm going to go ahead and click on this little upload button up here at the top, and then I'm going to go to Use as Wallpaper, and I'm going to go ahead and set this one as both my home and lock screen so you guys can see what it looks like. This does take a few minutes to save, so if it seems like your iPad or iPhone freezes a little bit when you're setting this background, that's just, it takes a few seconds. Now we've got this as my background. It definitely is a little bit easier to see, especially these icons down here on the home page. On the toolbar at the bottom, in my lock screen, looks pretty good as well. I could even choose a darker one. This does have a lot of white, and it's got a lot of blues that kind of blend in with some of the icons of my apps here, for the Weather Channel icon, for instance. But for the most part, this is a pretty good background. It's a lot easier on my eyes. Okay, so I hope this video helped. If it did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you want to see more technology tips and tutorials, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check out the other iOS 7 video tutorials I have linked in the description of this video here on YouTube. That's all I have for you for now. This is Anson from AnsonAlex.com.